Welcome to Movie Review. Today, I'm going to explain a drama and romance movie called Looks That Kill. The story begins with Max, who is a young student who must have his face covered because he suffers from a strange condition. His face is too pretty and everyone who sees it suffers a strong reaction that causes them to die. He goes with his parents to the psychologist and tells him about his situation, saying that even the doctors who helped in the delivery died when they saw his face. His parents are the only ones who can see him, and they decided to cover his face when he was a child to avoid more deaths. The gentleman is very confused and doesn't believe him, so he asks him to take off the bandages. Moments later, we can see the dead psychologist on the ground and Max covering his face again. The police arrive on the scene and talk to Max's parents, telling them that the man died of a strange heart attack. After a while, Max grabs a brick from the ground and they all return home. In the evening, Max's best friend, Danny, goes to dinner at his house, and his parents take the opportunity to ask him to help Max socialize with more people and make more friends. After dinner, the two boys go to Max's room and Max asks him to hit him in the face with the brick. Danny refuses and the two talk for a while, but Max throws his phone to the floor, so he agrees to smash his face in. The next morning, Max and his mother go to the hospital to check that the brick didn't cause any serious damage. There, Max meets Alex, and the two chat for a while as they wait for the doctor. They return to the house and later, Danny knocks on the door. Max greets him, and he tells him that he got him a date for tonight. Hours pass and we see Max and Danny sitting in a restaurant, next to a girl named Erica. When the waiter approaches the table, they ask him for 2 sodas and Danny takes the opportunity to leave. Minutes later a couple is heard fighting and Craig approaches the table of the boys and greets Erica. Then he sits down, and when he sees Max, he is surprised and orders him to take off his bandages. Max doesn't know what to do so he throws the soda, and Craig gets angry and goes to hit him, but the locals quickly stop him. The next day, we see Max on the edge of a bridge about to jump, when suddenly the girl from the hospital, Alex, appears and speaks to him in a friendly tone. The two chat for a while and she assures him that she is not going to jump. Alex has to go to work at a nursing home and invites Max to make sure he doesn't jump off the bridge. The two talk with the ladies for a while and Max returns home. He talks to his friend while they play video games, and Danny advises him to at least try to make friends with her. The next day, Max goes to the bus stop near the bridge hoping to meet her again. The girl approaches and they become friends as they talk for a while, and then go to a store to buy candy. The two go to Max's house, and he confesses to her the problem he has with his beautiful face. Alex tells him that she already knew, and then confesses to him that she has a rare cardiovascular disease. It turns out that she is allergic to endorphins, so anything that excites her causes her heart to swell, potentially killing her. However, he tells her not to worry because she's on medication. They continue talking, and as night falls, they decide to go to the cinema to watch a movie. While getting drunk on vodka they drink from a plastic bottle. Then they go to Max's house and the girl takes off his glasses, being able to observe his eyes. At that moment, Max's parents enter the room and meet Alex. On the other hand, they introduce him to Yushun, who is an exchange student who will be staying at the house for a while. The next day, Max, Alex, Danny, and Yushun decide to go camping in the forest. While walking to the place where they will spend the night, Alex breaks a tree branch and cuts her hand, so Max decides to cut a piece of her bandage to help her. At night, they cover themselves with a sheet and Alex asks him to show her his face. Max covers her eyes with a blindfold and Alex goes over and kisses him, but this makes the girl emotional, releasing endorphins and causing her heart to swell. The next morning, Alex goes to the hospital and the doctors tell her that if her heart continues to swell, she could have problems in the future. Later, Max accompanies Alex to the nursing home where she works, and when she arrives, another of the helpers gives her some bad news. Rose, the lady Alex cares for, has decompensated and is in a bed fighting for her life. The young men go in to see her, but Alex's great sadness causes her heart to swell, and she begins to bleed from the nose. The girl leaves the room and asks Max to end Rose's suffering. Max returns with the lady and asks Rose if she wants to go to sleep. The woman smiles, so Max takes off the bandages and Rose dies of joy at the sight of her face. Days go by and Max can't talk to Alex, as he doesn't answer his messages. He and Danny decide to go to a restaurant, since his friend wants to invite a waitress who goes with him to school to the prom. When the girl approaches to offer them the menu, Danny invites her, and the girl accepts with emotion. After a while, Danny asks Max if he will go with Alex to the prom, but he tells him that he doesn't answer his messages. Then, Danny grabs Max's phone and pretends to be him, to ask Alex if she wants to go to the prom. The girl sees the message but unfortunately doesn't answer. After a while, Max decides to visit Alex at her house to talk to her and understand what is going on. The girl tells him that her medication is not working, and that she has to increase the dosage, as her heart is getting too big. Max feels guilty about the situations that have gotten Alex worked up, but the girl tells him not to worry, and to calm him down, she agrees to go to prom with him. On prom night, she tells him that they increased his dosage, so there will be no problems with his heart. At the dance, they try to have fun, even though they are suffering from their respective illnesses. While dancing, Alex gets excited and generates a lot of endorphins, which causes her heart to swell and causes a heavy nosebleed. Unbeknownst to Max, she tells him she'll be right back. The man is left alone and then runs into Danny and his partner. Seconds later, Craig appears and argues with the girl, so the bastard grabs Max by the neck and removes his mask, pointing his face in the direction of Danny's partner. The woman falls to the ground, lifeless, and the police take Max away with a sack over his head. Outside, Max manages to see through the sack to Alex, who had had a problem with her heart from dancing with him, and was being taken away by the doctors. He despairs, but the police take him to the police station anyway. Upon his release, Max goes to the hospital to check on Alex, and upon entering her room, he sees her lying in bed. The girl tells him the truth, saying that she wasn't taking any medicine, and that the doctors didn't give her much longer to live. She apologizes for lying to him, and tells him that he was one of the few nice things that happened in her life. After all his suffering, Alex asks Max to take off the bandages, so he can die quickly and happily. Max is enraged by Alex's request, and tells her that she doesn't know what it's like to see a person die, so she leaves the room and goes home. The next day, Alex calls Max several times, but he doesn't answer. Max meets with Danny and tells him that Alex has lied to him, but Danny suggests that he should go see her, or he will regret not being able to say goodbye. Then, Max goes to the hospital to see the girl, and finds her very weak, and in worse condition than before. He lies down next to her, gives her a kiss, and they talk for a while, but he feels very bad to see her like this, so he decides to take off his bandages to help her end her suffering. To both of their surprise, the girl can look at him without dying, as she manages to see him for who he is, regardless of his lethally attractive face. They are both hugely moved by this, and the girl generates a lot of endorphins, which causes her heart to swell and die quickly. Deeply grief-stricken, Max goes to Alex's wake, then heads to the bridge to dump some of his memories into the water. Some time later, Max continues his therapy with a new psychologist and feels much better. Several people from other cities know about his case, and Max decides to help all patients who want to die to end their lives in a quick and joyful way. While sewing, he understands the teaching that Alex left him. Only those who love him and see him for who he really is are not surprised to see his handsome face. Please leave a like as it helps the channel a lot. Subscribe and turn on notifications to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.